Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love your questions. Some of you have even written to say, I'm sorry if I'm being a pest and I'm asking too many questions. And I want to say, no, keep them coming, keep the comments rolling, keep the questions happening. And if you're just visiting and you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, stop what you're doing right now, go subscribe, and after the video is over, ask some questions. Hi, I'm David-Dorian Ross, and this is day 3 of 100 Days of Tai Chi. In today's lesson, we're going to release your inner Indiana Jones with a movement called the single whip. Now, on the topic of questions, one of the questions that had just come up was from David-Dorian, who was the person who gave me the inspiration to do this series altogether. So Deepo, thanks for asking this question. His question was about the movement we did yesterday called seizing the sparrow's tail, and stick around because I'm going to answer that question in detail at the end of the lesson. Today we're going to learn a new movement called Dan Bien, which means the single whip, or whipping one time, if you really want to get the accurate translation. Watch me one time, and then we'll break it down and we'll do it together. It comes right after the end of the previous movement, the push at the end of seizing the sparrow's tail. Seizing sparrow, one step, one complete move. All right, let's break it down. First things first, the footwork here is a 180-degree turn, eventually stepping out into another Tai Chi lunge, or we call the bow and arrow step, or we just say bow step. So that's the phrase I'm going to be using pretty consistently throughout the rest of the series now, stepping out into a bow step. So we're in a bow step facing this direction with the with the right foot forward here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn all the way around so that my left foot steps forward into another bow step. Here's how that happens. I first empty out this foot by sitting back. So I sit back onto my back foot like I'm sitting in a chair and begin to turn my body to the left. Turn, 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 turn. And I turn an awful lot. I turn almost all the way so that my shoulders are facing it. I'm really twisting around here. And while I'm doing that, this foot, the right foot, cranks all the way in. I let this knee sort of collapse a little bit on the right side in order to be able to facilitate the turning in of this foot. Then I'm coming back to this foot, releasing the left foot on the floor. It lets it pivot out a little bit. Now that's really important. Otherwise you wind up twisting both knees in towards the center. You don't want to do that. So as soon as you get turned around, turning, I release this foot and take all the pressure off the knees. Then this left foot steps down the lane, tracking straight forward and shifting into another lunge, a bow step here. Beautiful. Now, when you do that bow step, here's one more little thing about it. And I don't like to get too detailed in this. Remember, layers. But when you step out of this bow step, you're not squared up entirely like you were in Grass Bird's tail and Seizing Sparrow's tail. You're actually a little bit open with your hip and body. Right? One more time. I'm going to just watch me, and then I'm going to turn around and we'll do it together. So I sit back. Turn, turn. Sit back, step down the line, and into a bow step I go, leaving my body slightly open. Beautiful. Here's the view from the back. I've just finished my push here. I sit back, turn in, step out, all right, good. I hope that you follow that part. Here's what the hands are doing. The hands are coming from the end of a push. And then So we're taping this in October, close to Halloween. So you got to think zombie here, Frankenstein. The hands flatten out and go all the way across, all the way from one side to the other. So from the end of the push here, I sit back, and as I'm turning, they're just floating all the way until the fingers are pointing down to the other direction. Then they fold in. Both elbows fold in, coming back towards it, sort of like I'm going to grab my zombie prey and bring it in for the, well, maybe not, but I'm going to bring it in here. And then, after I have done that, I turn my body back to the right in the corner, and my right hand extends out into the corner. It brings all the fingertips and thumb together into a hook. I step out down the line, remember that? And the left hand here turns palm to face me and open, 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 open. And that opening here is almost the whipping action. There's one more piece I'm going to bring in here for just a second. All right, one more time. Here we are at the end of the push. Sit back, float all the way across. Bending the elbows, reach into the corner with the right hand. Hook, step out. The palm turns to face me on the left side. Open, open, open. And then here is the last piece. As I finish this movement, I expand a little bit. There's sort of a stretching out, tiny, not a big, huge movement, but tiny bit towards the palm and towards the hook. Beautiful. One more time. I'm going to turn around so we do it from the back. Follow me. I've just finished up with the push. Sit back, the hands flatten. They float across the room all the way, all the way, all the way. Both elbows bend, and I reach into the corner with my right hand. Step down the line, open, push, and expand. The single whip. Very nice. All right, now, before we end for today, I want to answer a question that came to us from Deepo, who said, is seizing the sparrow's tail like grasping the bird's tail from the Yang Style 24? And the answer is, it's the same technique. Now, there's a stylistic difference between the Yang Style long form and the Beijing 24 form. And the name seizing versus grasping is just a matter of translation. Grasping in English has a sort of a desperate kind of quality. I'm grasping at straws. I'm grasping and holding on. And the idea of this technique is not that I've desperately tried to grasp the tail of a little bird. What it is I've taken a little bird that usually flies away before I can get to it and seized on it and stuck to it. I've seized the sparrow's tail and then am moving around with it. And so the words are the same. The name of the movement is the same. The technique looks a little bit different between the 24 form and the 103 long form, because the 24 form is supposed to be a simplification. It is literally called the simplified Tai Chi routine. The long form, I guess you could say it's the complicated version. If the 24 is the simplified version, then this is complicated. It's the original. So the original form has a little bit more complexity to it. And so what I want to do is I want to shift my hands from the ward-off position into a position that approximates being in contact with another person who is advancing towards me. I follow them in their movements, staying connected, but not letting them control me as I guide them away, right? Guiding them away. Now this is slightly more complex than what we do in the 24 form, which is I'm here, I pull down, right? It's just simplified. So Deepo, the answer is it's the same movement. The 24 is a little more simple, the long form a little more complex. If you have a question or if you want some details that I have left out, please leave that in your comments and I'll answer your question. I try to answer the questions on the responses page underneath the video as well. So if you don't get your question answered in the video, look for it in the comments below because I'll have them there. Anyway, one last chance. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do that now. And don't forget to click the little bell next to the subscribe button because that does notify you as soon as I put up another video. It's day 3. Tomorrow is going to be another one, but I'll see you in that lesson. Thank you so much.